Central to the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, is that students with disabilities receive a free, appropriate public education, or FAPE, in the least restrictive environment, or the LRE. The Child Count and Educational Environments data collection captures information about how many students receive special education and related services, where they receive their services, and their demographics, such as race and ethnicity and disability category. States report these data to the U.S. Department of Education annually in the summer. So who is included in the data? States report data for all students with disabilities ages 3 through 21 who are receiving special education and related services on the state's official child count date. The official child count date is a specific date each state chooses to pull information for certain federal reports, and the date must be between October 1st and December 1st. For example, if a state's child count date is November 1st, a student who does not begin receiving special education services until December 15th would not be included in child count data because the student was not receiving services on November 1st, the state's child count date. Next, let's talk about educational environments. Educational environments data provide information about where students with disabilities receive special education and related services. Let's dive into the details. For students who are ages 3 through 5 and not in kindergarten, educational environments are broadly grouped into two categories: those attending a regular early childhood program and those who are not. A regular early childhood program is one where at least 50% of the students do not have disabilities. These programs include public or private preschools, Head Start programs, group child development centers, or child care programs. States report students attending a regular early childhood program based on whether they receive special education and related services in that program or in another location, such as an occupational therapist's room down the hall. States report students not attending a regular early childhood program based on where they receive their special education and related services, including in separate special education classes, separate schools, residential facilities, service provider locations, or the home. For students who are 5 years old and in kindergarten, as well as students ages 6 through 21, educational environments are also grouped into two categories: those students attending a regular classroom for a portion of the school day, and those served in other educational environments. The regular education classroom is where same-age peers with and without disabilities receive instruction. Students with disabilities may spend a portion of the school day receiving special education and related services in another location, such as a resource room, or with related services providers like a speech-language therapist. States report students attending a regular education classroom based on the percent of time they are educated in a regular education classroom. States report students not served in the regular education classroom for a percent of the day in other educational environments, including residential facilities, homebound or hospital settings, correctional facilities, separate schools, or private schools where the parents or guardians elected to enroll their child. Let's shift gears and talk about how these data are used. Keep in mind that to effectively use the data, states and local education agencies, or LEAs, must be confident of the quality of the child count and educational environments data. States use the data from this collection to populate performance indicators in the State Performance Plan and Annual Performance Report, also known as the SPP APR. For example, in the SPP APR, states must report on educational environments data categories. States also use these data to address disproportionality requirements under IDEA, particularly when determining significant disproportionality based on race and ethnicity related to identification and educational placement of students with disabilities. What other ways can these data be used? The data may inform professional learning needs. For example, Staff in an LEA with a greater number of students in more restrictive educational environments, such as a separate class, may need individualized education program, or IEP, team training on making appropriate placement decisions. States and LEAs also may use these data to project personnel needs. For example, if LEAs see an upward trend in the number of students with disabilities overall, they may need to plan for the recruitment and hiring of additional special education teachers. Attention to the child count and educational environments data can result in better decisions that will ensure that all students with disabilities receive the free, appropriate public education that they deserve. For more information about child count and educational environments data, visit the IDEA Data Center website at ideadata.org.